Hi, Team Our Victory. Brittany McMillan here, and today we're talking all about consistency. So I have been kind of really weighing on my heart, like what trainings should I talk to you guys about? What exactly is it that you need from me? And I had a totally different training in mind when I went to sit down to kind of navigate it and plan it all out. And then I kind of sat back and I thought, I don't think that's what they need just yet. And by all means, my thought process of what I think you need could be totally wrong. But I think that, right now, as I watch your pages, as I follow your journeys, I think one of the things that's setting some of the successful coaches in our team apart from maybe the coaches that are struggling and just keep coming in and out of what we would call success is consistency. And it's as plain and simple as that. Before I even dive into like consistency and what we need to be consistent in and just what does that mean for our followers and for the people who've trusted their journeys with us, I want to give you guys a couple quotes about consistency that I thought were like spot on, super awesome. So the first one says, if you are persistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. So yeah, persistent people, like you might see people on Facebook, on social media who are really persistent with their business. And then maybe you see them like fizzle away. I know that I've totally seen that kind of person. The person that's really persistent, they push and they push and they push. And every day they're blasting about, it sounds like an infomercial really. And then they fade out. It's because they got it, but they couldn't keep it. And consistency is what is going to allow you to keep it. One of the things that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about in this sometime this month was about your voice and finding your voice and how does your voice evolve in this business? Because honestly, for me, that's the most fun part about Beachbody. Like, forget freaking at-home workouts, forget Shakeology, forget all of that stuff. What my heart, and like you can see I get excited about, what my heart like sings about is my voice that I've got a chance to create. Something super powerful, that Beachbody was like a platform that allowed me to jump off and to just kind of fly into an area that I never thought I would fly in. One of them being like my blog and just the things that I think that I can do or that I know I can do, my vision for my future began with the consistency of my voice. And so, yeah, you can be persistent on social media, and don't get me wrong, we should be persistent with people, but it's that consistency that allows us to keep what we've got, right? That even after I've been persistent with that one person and I counted on them and they got a challenge pack and they were in my challenge group, but you know what? They went away. The consistency that I have is what's going to bring the next person in when someone else exits out. It's a revolving door. I mean, it truly is. I have a few challengers that I've kept like, they're like totally into it, but it truly is. It is kind of a revolving door. You get people in a challenge group, they experience that, they have results, they love it, but maybe they go back to their old ways, or maybe they are fine without you, and you've got to find new people. So consistency is what allows us to do that. If we're not consistent, when those people that we were persistent with that ordered that challenge pack, when they're kind of done with it or their life takes a different turn and they don't need our services anymore, then you won't have anything left. And it gets really frustrating. So consistency over persistency. Let's try that. Next one. Consistency is not perfection. It is simply refusing to give up. And I've heard from some of our coaches on our team that you are stuck in a sense, that you can't do much because you want it to be perfect before you'll move forward. And I'm here today to tell you that that is one of the most ridiculous ideas that you could ever have, because ultimately what's going to happen when you strive for only perfection is that you will get so paralyzed. You will become so paralyzed. And like, Beachbody aside, let's put this in your life. If you expect perfection in every aspect of your life, you might not ever get out of bed. I mean, truthfully, because the reality is life isn't perfect. Our days aren't perfect. And it's, if we only want perfection, if we only want that like shiny image, what is that? That's not a life, because strength and courage and just overcoming things, that comes through those low points that we all have. So even though, yeah, like this might not be the best picture that I've ever made, or maybe I don't know really the right wording, but if you don't get out there and try something, then you're never going to know. You're never going to know how people reacted to it. And it evolves. That's what I was saying. Like, the most fun part for me is watching my evolution of my voice on social media and just what the message really is for me. Because the message isn't Shakeology. If you follow me daily, my message isn't drink shakes and do Chalene Johnson workouts. That's not my message. There are tones of Beachbody throughout my message at times, but my message is that you should be a healthier, happier person, that I've been through what you're going through, sister, and here's what we're going to do. And that's my message. And so try to stop thinking about like this idea of perfection, because guess what? My message wasn't that on day one. I wanted it to be like that, but I didn't know how to say it. And it only came through over 2 years of trying, 2 years of consistency, that I've finally become pretty comfortable with my voice. And guess what? If I make a video a year from now for you guys, I guarantee my voice is going to be completely different. But it's because I'm continuing to be consistent, right? And it's not perfection. It is simply refusing to give up. Refusing to give up. So, I mean, raise your hand, like, for real. Have you ever wanted to give something up? Like, who here has ever wanted to quit their workout? I have. Who here has ever wanted to quit a job that they have? Who here has ever just wanted to give up on something that at one point was really important to them, but now might not be as important anymore? Who's ever wanted that? Yeah, I mean, we all have. We've all been there. But when you're consistent about something and you're not trying to be perfect, you're just trying to be out there and be present in your message, when you become consistent, it's really about not giving up. Not giving up. And it's not even about giving up on, like, let's reference this to Team Our Victory. It's not about giving up on me so much, because you didn't give up on me. I mean, you have no control of that. It's not even about giving up on the teammates. I mean, that we all count on each other as a team. So that does, yeah, you are kind of giving up on your team a little. But truthfully, when you quit something, or you come in and out and you're like wishy-washy, you're only giving up on you. And it is just a true reflection of character, really, at that point, because that just shows integrity. Really, when you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, or you do it sometimes and then not sometimes, that becomes an integrity issue. And so when you're consistent about something, and I'm referencing it to our team, but people see it on social media too. If they see you pop in one day and talk about this, and then you go away for a while, and then you pop back in and you're super gung-ho again, it's really, your integrity is kind of lost. People don't really know what you're about anymore. And so it's that consistency that allows people to build trust in you. People don't trust something that is wishy-washy. People don't trust something that comes in and comes out and seems as if it's only for bettering them, right? So like, if you come back and say, I've got a challenge group, it doesn't seem like your challenge group is opening up to people because you want to help people. What that appears from the outside looking in is that your challenge group is simply something that you want, and you need people to join in on it because it benefits ultimately you. Does that make sense? And I'm being a little harsh in this because that is what it is. It's harsh. And that's what happens with a lot of coaches in this business, is we fall off, we give up on the business, or we say that the business doesn't work. But really, what's not working is the consistency. The consistency isn't there over time. And so because it's not there, there's just not a community of trust being built. So that one was super important. I love this one, though. Here we go. What you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. And it's so true. Like, there are the once in a while things that happen in our life that it's like, oh, that like a vacation or something like epic, right? That happens like once in a while. And we love those things because they're like treats, right? But at the end of the day, our true makeup and our characters and just everything like mind, body, soul that we're made up of is what we do every day on a daily basis. If you wake up every morning and the first thing you do is you scroll on social media, that's setting the tone for your day. That is something that's becoming a part of you. There's, like what you do every single day. Do you work out every day? If you work out every day, that says something. That says something about how you value your personal health. Do you go through the drive-thru every morning? That says something. I mean, these are things that we're just every day that we build these habits and these cycles, those are the things that we truly are made up of. And the only way to undo that is to like basically swap it out and replace. And I say this because I've gone through that with like not working out every day, right? I wasn't consistent in working out every day. So I had to swap that for working out daily. And I had to have a plan because you can't just swap something out and not like kind of have a plan for it. It doesn't work that way. So in order to work out every day, I had to utilize Beachbody programs or like marathon training programs and things like that so that I had paper, pencil in front of me. And I was like, okay, I have to check this off today. This is what I have to do. So that's what helped me reverse that. In terms of the drive-through, I had to replace it with meal planning. I had to know that instead of going to that drive-through, I had to have something in place. There had to be something in my house. I had to be fueled. I had to bring it with me on the go. And I had to make it work. So I had to swap out that behavior that I didn't want for a different behavior. Facebook, I was the total offender of going on Facebook first thing in the morning. And that started my morning in like a really disappointing tone because for whatever reason, I was looking for validation, personal validation through other people's likes and comments. And it wasn't working for me. It's not going to work for anybody. If anybody's trying to find validation in a thumbs up, I mean, it's like a crazy world we live in, but I was reaching for that. I truly was. And in order to not do that anymore, I had to swap that out in the morning so I wasn't tempted. So now I do my Bible devotionals and it's on my phone. So I still get that habit of reaching for my phone, which, that's a whole different webinar for a whole different day. But I still have that, but I'm reaching to something bigger than Facebook. So when we talk about what you do every day, it matters so much more than what you do once in a while. And again, this speaks to your followers. It's again that whole integrity issue. If your followers see that you work out every day, it becomes an inspiration because maybe, just maybe, they want to work out every day. And so they're going to you and they're watching you because you're an inspiration. So if that's what you're doing every day and you're showing them that on social media, yeah, there might be people that are annoyed by it. They're annoyed by it though because they wish they were doing it truthfully. Like that's the reality, right? So what you're doing every day though, it speaks volumes. If you do a workout once a month, you are like everybody else. You're on the same struggle that they're on. And essentially when somebody's looking at you, they're high-fiving you because, yeah, girl, you got that workout in. Like they're super pumped for you. But they're not going to look at you like a mentor. They're not going to look to you like a coach. So in order to have that, in order to be that coach, you got to walk the walk, talk the talk, right? You got to do it all. So what you do every day, so important. Consistency, guys, it is a relative to success. It truly is. So let's get in this. Let's talk about why consistency is important, first of all. I mean, let's think about this. And I say this to you guys, and I know you know, because at some point, each one of you who's listening to this has come to me, or I've gone to you in a time when you needed something that I had, right? And so I can say this freely to you because I know you've been there going through it. But people are on this journey. They're in a place where it's not working. Their health is not working. The fitness is not working, and they're fed up, right? They're fed up. They're frustrated. They're angry with their own bodies. They're they're like, the self-talk is negative and ugly, and they're just at rock bottom. So they're vulnerable. Imagine in your shoes when you were in that point where you wanted to, you were here and you wanted to do something bigger, right? You were vulnerable. So what do you need? You need someone who you can count on. You need someone who you can trust. And the only way that we can count on people is when they're there, right? When they're there. So people who are on this journey, they don't want somebody who's here one day and gone the next. They want to know that this person is going to be by their side, walking hand in hand on this journey. That is so important. We are in a business that is a vulnerable business. The business of health and fitness is very vulnerable. And when somebody's feeling vulnerable, they need trust and they need connection. They need somebody that's going to hold their hand and just walk with them. And so consistency for us, that is our gift that we can give to other people when they are in that point of vulnerability. Okay. They want somebody who can really help, right? We might not have all the answers. And I'm not saying, remember back to that perfection thing. So like, don't say, oh, well, you know what? I can't help because I don't know the answer to this. Well, enough with that. We've got to get out of this mindset of like, I don't have the answers or I'm not perfect, to I just want to help somebody. And when you really, truly, ultimately want to help somebody, you'll find the answers. You will. You'll find the answers. When someone reaches out to me and they have a question about something and I don't know, I'm going to find out for them. I'm going to find out for them as best as I can. Same thing with like coaching with you guys. If there's a question about something with the coaching business, if I don't know the answer to that, I'm going to find out. Best practice, right? That's our best practice as a Beachbody coach, is to just be willing to help others, okay? Not willing to always have the answers. We're not willing to always be perfect, and we're not willing to be like nutrition specialists. That's not what we're willing to do. We're truly just willing to help others live a better life, right? And support them along the way. Consistency builds your business. It builds your business. If you're sitting here and like a sitting duck and you're like, well, I've been a coach. I don't have any coaches on my team. I've never run a challenge group because nobody wants to be in it. And I just think I'm just going to stay with the discount. Enough. Consistency is what builds your business. Guys, when I started this, I didn't have anybody in my group. I started in October. Nothing in October. Nothing in November, nothing in December. I think I got my first Shakeology sale in November. So I made $33 in November. Like, woohoo, awesome. Guys, but then in January, because I stayed consistent on social media for 3 months and I plugged away and I did my personal development and I listened, like I got into my team page and whatever Emily was telling me, whatever Michelle Myers was saying, I listened in on those phone calls. I would go to my online office and I would just listen to the people that knew what they were talking about, and I would do what they told me to go do. And consistency was a big one of those things. And so come January, when it was the new year, everybody was like, well, what's this Beachbody thing you've been doing since October? I see you post about it. What is it? Awesome. I'm so glad you asked. I've actually got a challenge group that I'm starting, our online groups, blah, 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 right? It opened the door for me to be able to have these conversations, to not have to basically beg people to be in my group, but rather have people come to me because they've been watching me and they understand that there's something about this that works, right? So it was really exciting and special because once January came, I made great money in January. I made really great money in February. And then my business, I was like this, like, yeah, and then my business went down. And then it went back up, and then, like it does that all the time. It is the roller coaster that we are on. So you can't get discouraged that your business isn't building, because with consistency, even if you don't see what's being built, trust me that it is being built. It's like that iceberg, right? We can only see like the little like bit sticking up, but like under, it's all spread out. That little iceberg analogy, that's what you're doing when you build consistency. And over time, your business will build. People will, and I'm not saying like people are just going to flood to you every day and say like, I want Shakeology and I want a challenge group and I want to be a coach that makes $1 million a year and build this. You're not necessarily going to get that, but you are going to have consistent energy in your business. You're going to have consistent energy. You're going to wake up every Thursday morning and there's going to be a consistent dollar amount in your bank account every Thursday. Right now, I have a pretty consistent number every single Thursday that I can count on, every Thursday for my paycheck. And so is it ultimately where I want that to stay? No, but I've gotten it from, like I said, I made like nothing. I made $33 my first 3 months, right? That did not cover Shakeology. That did not, pay the costs that I was shelling out essentially for my business. It didn't. But over time, it has paid off and it's benefited. And even more than that, that idea of like what I was saying, helping others, regardless of any dollar amount that I make on a Thursday, I know that what I'm doing matters, and I would hate to miss a day, or I'd hate to lose people because I just didn't feel like posting or what have you. Okay, it is the difference maker. Consistency is a difference maker, hands down. Those that are successful in this business, they're consistent. They don't let like something like a hiccup in the road deter them from continuing to work their business. For example, I started these jobs and it's been different for me kind of adjusting my business, my at-home Beachbody business. It's not foreign to me though, because I've worked a full-time job while doing Beachbody, and I built the business. So I know what it's like. I know what it entails. And I just have to kind of get back into that, shift that a little bit. The only problem right now is my schedule isn't as consistent as when I was a teacher. My schedule was pretty solidly consistent. So I knew like, okay, TOV, we got every Wednesday night together at this time, and I could plug into you guys. Right now, that's not the case. I don't know my schedule until literally the week before. And so it's not fair for me to just like throw at you a time. So that's the only thing right now that I'm like, the team page is a little wishy-washy for me. But I know how to pre-post. I know how to set aside 10 minutes a day to go check on my challengers and comment and like and look at what they're doing in the group that day. I know how to do that. And it's a priority. So it's a difference maker. I haven't given up. I didn't let, when things got added onto my life, I didn't subtract this. And I think that happens a lot of times with people. When something changes, a season of your life changes, it's like, this is the thing that's got to go. But my friends, this is the thing that can give you that extra money that you've always wanted. This is the thing that can really allow you to make a difference. And there's a reason, there's some serious reason why you decided to be a coach. And so when you shift your life in certain ways, or you add some things onto your plate, find things to subtract that are meaningless. Because this stuff here is powerful. What we're doing, what we're inspiring others to do, it's powerful stuff. So this is the one that like, this isn't what I would subtract, right? I would subtract maybe the extra half hour of television, or I would subtract maybe going out to dinner that night. I can save some money. I don't really need to go out, like subtracting things like that. And everybody's different, but ultimately I'm just telling you that the most successful people are consistent. And I can't get around that. Like when I look at Team Our Victory, and I look at Team 180, and I look at even Team Iron, and I look at those 3 levels of teams, the people that I see consistently on social media are our top coaches on all 3 teams. The top excelling coaches on all 3 aspects of Beachbody that we're connected to, the top coaches are consistent with their business. That's it, right? Easy piece to the puzzle. Okay, so let's talk about some things to be consistent in, right? And I'm sure some of these are like, yeah, Brittany, I already know that. But like, knock, 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 like wake up call, right? If like truthfully, dig deep, do a gut check and ask yourself, am I really being consistent with this? Because honestly, when I was writing this stuff down, there were a couple gut check moments where I was like, okay, Britt, you're not as consistent in that as you should be. So, and I'll even acknowledge right now the ones that I've kind of let slip in this transition for me. So first one, working out regularly. Are you working out regularly? And I don't care, guys, I don't care if it's a Beachbody program. I don't care what it is, but are you showing your followers that you work out regularly? I didn't say every day. I mean regularly. Are you showing them that? Are you showing them that you're setting fitness goals for yourself? Like, I'm going to finish this program, or I'm going to run a 5K, or I'm going to sign up for a personal trainer and actually like attend those classes and finally like have somebody correct my form, or anything like that. I'm going to start going to a run club once a week. Hold me accountable to it. Are you setting fitness goals for yourself? If you're not showing people that you have the capability of setting fitness goals and checking them off and achieving them, then how the heck are they going to believe that they can do it? They're looking to you for that answer. They're looking to us to give them that inspiration, that motivation that, you know what, yes, I can. Yes, I can do that. And if you aren't showing that you can even do it, they're not going to even believe, they're not going to believe in themselves either, okay? So it's important. As a Beachbody coach, are you working out regularly? If the answer is no, if you're doing a gut check right now, the answer is no, then I highly suggest today is a Monday. Get out there, figure out a new workout routine, put in a new DVD, start a new program up. I don't care what you do, but do it. Start today. Why wait, right? And post about it. Next one, reading personal development. So I believe the first thing that is most important in our business as a health and fitness coach is to work out regularly. It is. I think that, like, if you ask me, what is the most important thing I should do every day for my business, Brittany? Workout. Go do your workout. Not only because it's a great like avenue to talk about on your social media platform. Not only that, but guys, when you work out, you're a better person. You will feel better. You'll have more energy. You'll lose these aches and pains. You're giving yourself a longer life. Positivity. Like, my gosh, you're clearing your stress out of your mind. There are just so many magic pill things that are happening, boosting confidence. Like, all this stuff is a miracle that happens like in that 30-minute time frame when you go and work out. So I think that's number one. But if you ask me, what is the second most important thing you should do for this business every single day before you do anything else? Personal development. Reading for personal development. Changed my life, changed my outlook on things, has allowed me to improve relationships, has allowed me to have better integrity, like what we talked about earlier. When I say I'm going to do something, I actually do it. It's allowed me to set boundaries in my life for what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. What are my expectations, right? It's allowed me so much. It's truly changed my life. And so when I tell you, are you reading for personal development? Are you consistently reading? And when I say consistent, I don't mean like, this isn't one that I mean, are you doing it like most days of the week? Reading for personal development should be an every single day thing. Like I was saying, rather than grab your phone and scroll through Facebook, grab your book and read however many pages you would be scrolling for. So if you tend to scroll for the first 10 minutes of your morning, spend those 10 minutes reading from a really great book. If you need suggestions for books, guys, I mean, they're coming out my ears. Like, I could give you so many suggestions. Right now, I'm reading The Power of I Am. I'm also reading a book for pleasure right now. It's like a wine country book, but that's totally side note. I'm doing my daily devotionals, so I'm growing closer to Christ and just understanding like where I am in this like world we live on, things like that. So reading for personal development, consistent in number 2. All right, number 3, plugging into your team page and calls. I think for Team Our Victory, this is number 3. I'm not even going to tell you about, like, I haven't even gotten into posting or connecting with people or anything like that, because before you can do that, are you a teammate? Are you a team player? Are you listening to this webinar? Are you like, I don't even know how many minutes into this we are. I can't tell by touching the screen, but it's probably about 30 minutes. If you've been listening to me for 30 minutes, like, you get a high five. You are awesome. I love you. You are the reason I am here. And if you're not listening for 30 minutes, you're not even at this part yet. And so it's you I'm talking to, but you're not even listening. So that's like, guys, it is so important. So if you're listening to this, like, tell your teammates, tell everybody else, shout it from the mountains. You've got to plug into the team. If you're not listening to webinars, you're not learning. You're not learning. if I host a team meeting and I want everybody to get on and like show our faces and talk and just get to know one another as friends and teammates, rather than just like these distant strangers from afar that Brittany's all kind of brought together, like, no, I don't want it to be like that. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be a team, but the team doesn't start, it's not me. It's not me. I can only do so much. It has to start like flooding from everyone else. And everybody else has to kind of just throw themselves in to what it means to be a teammate on Team Our Victory. And we grow from there. And I'm setting new expectations for the team. I'm setting new boundaries. And I'm working on what does that mean? Because this team, you know, like when you start something and you just start building a team, I mean, like I didn't really know. So I wasn't, you know, I was just putting people in the team. But now that I have a great set of individuals, like an amazing team that I want to foster like consistency, and I want to foster the same behaviors that I'm doing that give me success in my business, it starts with plugging into the team. I can only give so much if it's not being, you know, absorbed and taken in. It goes nowhere. It just ends right here at this screen. So plugging into the team page, getting active in there. And what does that mean? Well, that means adding people to the team, right? Not being selfish and keeping this idea all to yourself. Like this whole coaching thing is just yours. No, that means like plugging other people into our team and allowing them to be a part of our family too. It starts with you guys. I can only continue adding people to our team, and it's just my team. I don't want it to be just my team. I want it to be our team. It's called Team Our Victory. It's not called Team Brittany's Victory. And so it's got to start with you plugging into the team page. That is my call to action for you. I want to see you guys post in our team page more than I post. I want to see you guys getting into the Coach Online office and learning something and telling our team about it. I want you to have a day where something works really well for you, a conversation that worked, and you share it with the team. I want you to make a document that you think would be amazing for our team. Maybe it's some email spreadsheet that you've already, a template that you've created for an email, and it's something that you think is awesome, and you just want to share that document. So you put it in our files section. I want you to find a motivational quote that really speaks to you about this whole business, and I want you to share it with the team. And that's what I want. I don't want it to be Brittany posting every single morning and that's it. No, that's just not fun. It's not fun. So plugging into the team page, getting on team calls. Right now they're recorded calls, spending 30 minutes of your week, of your entire week. That's all I ask of you, to listen to my beautiful voice teaching you about all the good things Beachbody is. Okay, next. Posting 3 to 5 times a day. Are you really posting on your Facebook page? 3 to 5 times per day. And we're talking content that is valuable, right? Not just posting like, checked in at McDonald's. Like, not valuable. Totally not valuable. You don't like, no. I'm talking something that is going to inspire somebody, motivate somebody, maybe something talking about the coaching opportunity, maybe something talking about the challenge group opportunity, maybe something talking about your own fitness, maybe a struggle that you've had, maybe a dish that you made, maybe it's just an inspirational quote that you heard. Maybe it's a video that you made talking to people about how this has transformed you and changed your life. Anything, maybe something you're learning in your personal development, right? Ding, 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 personal development, something you learned in your personal development and you want to share that. Just the sky is the limit. But again, back to that whole, like, I'm too afraid to not be perfect idea. If you don't just start posting things, you're never going to know what you want to talk about, right? There's a lot of things I talked about when I first started Run to Your Happy Place that I don't really talk about anymore because I was just testing the waters to see if that's what I liked, you know, and I didn't know. So I had to try, okay? But you got to get out there. You got to post 3 to 5 times per day. And we're not saying, like for me, okay, my Sundays and my Saturdays, I cut it back a little bit. Just for me personally, it gives me a chance to breathe a little bit. Also, I know that other people are not really like, most people are plugged into Facebook as like an escape from reality. And so when they're plugged onto Facebook to escape the reality, usually the reality they want to escape is anywhere from Monday to Friday from like 9 to 5, right? Or after 5 p.m. when they finally get home and they just don't want to like think about work anymore. And so they want to flood their mind with something that is mindless, right? So those are great moments. So my weekends, I kind of like also go easy on my following. I don't want them to be plugged into me. I want them to be plugged into their families, into their the things they're passionate about. So my posting does go down a little bit on the weekends. If you're saying, but Brittany, I know you only posted times the other day. Okay, I'm human, right? And that's something I'm trying to balance as well, especially moving to California. My posts have just been like my reach just feels so small compared to like this summer before I moved. The different time zones are kind of killing it and just weird stuff with that. So, but that's the journey I'm on, and I'm plugging away and testing it all out. Next one, connecting with new people. Consistent with it. Here's one that I have not, and I told you I'd be like, okay, I admit this is one that I have not been very good with lately. When, I'm kind of juggling around all this stuff and trying to add in other things in my life, one of the things that I tend to get rid of is that whole new connection thing. And that's going to bite me in the butt. I know it is. And so I got to get better at that. And I'm saying this to you right now kind of to hold myself accountable for it, because I know that when we connect with new people, that's how we get new people into our challenge groups. It's how we find new coaches. It's through those new connections. And so connecting with new people is so important, even if it is just friend requesting 5 new people every day, and then maybe reaching out or starting to like their pages, commenting on their stuff, things like that. But connections, they're so important. And I have to get better at that one. Messaging and reaching out to people. So once you build those connections, messaging them, letting them know about your new challenge group, reaching out to people who've shown interest before, but maybe they weren't ready at one time, and coming back to them, reaching out to brand new people, just making those connections. Okay, so those are really important things to be consistent on in this business. Let me ask you, as I wrap this up for today, do you have a vision? Do you have a vision with this business? You see where you want to essentially go? Because if you don't know where you're going, you won't get there. That's a total given. There's one thing you can be sure of. If you're unsure of where you're going, you can be sure that you're not going to get there. So I challenge you to dig deep, because there's a lot of things, even if you're saying like, yeah, I'm consistent in most all those things, Britt, and maybe like one of those I need to be a little bit better on, and then I'll feel better, like after listening to this webinar, you're right, there's a couple areas that I definitely want to boost my integrity, boost the trust that people have in me, and be a little bit more consistent, and that's great. But I also want to up that and challenge you to figure out what your vision is and share that. Share that with me, send me a text, share that with the team on our team page. But talk about where it is you want to go. Even if it's that you just want to run consistent challenge groups every single month, that's a vision. I'm not talking about $1 million vision. And by all means, if that is your vision, shout it from the rooftops for sure. But I mean, any vision of, okay, if I'm still sitting here 6 months from now, what do I want to look like? And how will it be different than what I'm doing today, right? And if you don't know where you're going, guys, and I'll just wrap it up with this. If you don't know where you're going, and you don't know what you're doing, then neither does anyone else. Neither does anyone else. I started this webinar off by saying that I thought I knew what you guys needed, and now I think at first I had a different webinar topic in mind, and then I thought, no, this is what they need. But you know what? Truth of the matter is, I don't really know what you need, because as of lately, the team hasn't really been expressing to me what it is that you want, what your vision really is. And so my challenge to you as we wrap up 2015 and we're getting into these last weeks of the year is to create that vision for yourself, because if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there, but also no one knows where you're going either. And if somebody doesn't know where you're going, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to follow you. They're not going to follow something that they're unsure of where it's going to end up, right? Not that consistent following. You might have that persistent following like we were talking about earlier, where you just persistency and you get a lot of people like all at once, but how do we keep them? We keep them because they know that path that they're walking on. They know that there is a paved path that you are laying out brick by brick by brick every single day. You're paving the path for people to follow you. And that's so powerful, guys. It's more powerful than a shake. It's more powerful than a workout program. It's stuff that is life-changing, truthfully. And so I truly appreciate you guys for taking the time this week to sit down and again, listen, plug in, and learn. But my challenge to you is find your vision. And I can't wait to see who reaches out to me this week and tells me, Brittany, by, this date, I want to be emerald, or by this date, I'm going to be diamond, or I have a vision of building a team, or Brittany, I have a vision of having, a challenge group that has 20 people in it in January. I want 20 people in my challenge group in January. You can do it. You can totally do it. But again, you got to know where you're going so that you can start paving the way to get there and that other people can follow that path with you. All right, guys, I hope that you have like the most amazing week ever in your life. I miss you guys. I miss seeing your faces and hearing your voices. Things, like I said, are going really well for me here, but I miss my teammates. So I hope everything's going well in your lives too. I think of you often, pray for you all the time. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Let's make it a great week. All right. Bye, guys.